Hello, my name is Nicole Nardi, and I am a graduate student of the ATHS program at CSUN University. Today I'm going to give you a presentation on assistive technology training and implementation procedures. My topic was the importance of AT training and implementation procedures on the adoption of assistive technology in education for individuals with disabilities. The importance of assistive technology. It is versatile to all individuals in any environment where an individual needs accessibility. AT is adaptable and flexible to various time constraints, either long-term or short-term. Assistive technology makes educational curriculums accessible to all users. AT increases social and academic success. Assistive technology also increases the individual's quality of life and gives them the ability to connect with the world. The problem in education. In education today, there is a lack of training for teachers, parents, support staff, and users. There is lack of proper assessment procedures. There's lack of implementation procedures and plans. And there is lack of time for preparation and planning for teachers and professionals. Additionally, in education, there is a lack of communication between leadership and other groups, in addition to high abandonment rates of assistive technology devices throughout the classroom and for its users. The goal. The goal of this presentation and research paper is to demonstrate the importance and impact of assistive technology training, implementation, and assessment procedures in education. This will increase the adoption rates and better the individual, giving them a better quality of life. An overview of the presentation. Today, I will be giving you an overview by providing an understanding of the connections between humans and technology, which can be referenced in Learning Outcome 1. I will also demonstrate the effects of assistive technology that assistive technology has on the user in multiple contexts, which is Learning Outcome 2. Discuss leadership and group dynamics in education, Learning Outcome 5. Discuss the role of professionals for AT and services in the multidisciplinary fields in education, which is Learning Outcome 6. And finally, briefly discuss professional and regulatory policies for AT in education, which is a combination of Learning Outcomes 7, and 8. Learning Outcome 1, technology and humans. Connecting technology and humans can be complicated. It is not about connecting the technology to the humans, or students in this case, but it's about what humans, students, can do with the technology. There's no one-size-fits-all model or mentality. In education, professionals should provide proper assessments, proper implementation, and proper training procedures so the individual can reach maximum potential. Professionals play an important role in these processes. The lack of training and education for professionals significantly impacts the connection of AT to the individual, both in the classroom and other environments in an educational setting. Matching technology to students is important and can significantly increase the adoption of assistive technology. This requires proper assessment, implementation, and training procedures so everybody can feel involved and connected. It increases professionals' awareness on reasons for adoption and abandonment. And professionals should also become familiar with educational procedures and state regulations for their school district, both state and federal. Additionally, professionals should use a specific framework when assessing the need for assistive technology. For example, the SET framework, which incorporates the student, environments, tasks, and tools. It looks at the whole person instead of one specific area and it best connects the individual with a form of technology to increase their quality of life. Professional development for staff, students, and parents is another important aspect to connect the individual and their surroundings with the technology. This does not need to be limited to professionals only, but can step outside the box and incorporate everybody to better connect the technology with the individual, which leads to greater success and less abandonment of the device. Moving on to learning outcome 2. Implication and effects of assistive technology. Implications and effects of assistive technology deal with 3 contexts: social, generational, and cultural. For each individual, these contexts are different and can positively or negatively affect the use of AT. Again, proper assessment, implementation, and training processes are useful to attack each of these areas to ensure the most success for the user and his or her family. Stigma is an important dynamic of the effect of assistive technology. In order to decrease stigma and abandonment in education, everyone must be taught how to use it. Therefore, training is important. All users with or without disabilities can benefit from the use and training of assistive technology. Cultural stigma is more challenging in education because schools do not always have the knowledge of different cultures, and they're not sensitive to the different cultures that may come about. This is especially important in the assessment portion of assistive technology. Assessment is important. Professionals can learn about the different cultural barriers and work with them instead of against them. Another important area of the effects of assistive technology are in context and education. Using a social perspective can help decrease abandonment rates and stigma surrounding assistive technology. Generational context is a big area of focus because different age groups have different dynamics. For example, an individual in first grade using a form of assistive technology has a different social dynamic than an individual in high school using assistive technology. Therefore, addressing the generational and social perspectives of each could lead to more adoption of assistive technology in education. Addressing cultural context in education needs improvement and resources. Using universal design for learning and universal in in general can help decrease the rates of abandonment and stigma in school settings. It supports the curriculum and helps meet the needs of all students. Furthermore, using an inclusion-based model is a great way for increasing the adoption of AT because it is used for all students. It does not focus on one type of student or the student and its disability, rather focuses on all students in a classroom. Crucial areas for focus for inclusion models are on teacher attitudes, learning environments, resources, and peer acceptance. All of these can help increase the adoption of assistive technology and use and success for all users. Moving on to learning outcome 5, leadership and group dynamics. When you think of leadership and group dynamics, you think of a group and a team. Well, there's no I in team, so professionals should work together as a group to get the best possible results for the individual. All parties, including administration, teachers, multidisciplinary service providers, and parents, play a role in the success of students academically and environmentally. The process can't begin without the recognition of difficulty from a member of the group. This leads to a referral. A planning and placement team is also a critical part of group dynamics and leadership. They are a crucial group of individuals who work together to determine the student's needs. It incorporates a process, which is lengthy and stressful for all parties involved, especially the student. Having strong assessment and implementation procedures can help make this process less stressful. In the process of assessment, it is a great area to include assistive technology trials of multiple devices in multiple environments, which gives professionals the ability to gain feedback from all disciplinary areas, leading to better goals and learning outcomes for the individual to increase their use and success of assistive technology and academics in education. Another important area for assessments is working together as a group. Many times, AT is left for the end or not included at all. It is important to include it in all evaluations and assessments for the individual in multiple environments to increase the adoption of AT and better help the student to reach its maximum potential. The team should include at least one administration member, teacher or teachers, parents, related service providers, an assistive technology specialist if applicable, an educational advocate if the parents wish, and the individual when appropriate. The team should organize and structure their approach to get the best results in the assessment process. The team should also work together to fill all gaps in testing in all multidisciplinary services. Finally, the team should request an AT specialist, and if the district does not have one, multiple parties should work together to trial the various assistive technologies. It should not be the responsibility of one sole person. Assistive technology and services, learning outcome 6. Assessment, implement, and train. The main factors to increase adoption rates of assistive technology in education. Here's the problem. Service providers and professionals do not have proper assessment, implementation, and training tools. It is not the responsibility of service providers to provide all training, implementation, and assessments surrounding AT. It is a whole group effort. Weaknesses in the structure of procedures is important. Administrations and educational systems need to look at training, assessment, and implementation measures and how they are executed in order to provide the best service to its students. A possible solution: organize the delivery of training services. Set a guideline for how training should be implemented. For example, following the quality indicators for professional development and training in assistive technology, the QUIET. Using these 8 quality indicators, give educational systems a structured approach that can be organized to meet the needs of their students. Set a goal, do not limit the audience, and determine desired outcomes. For each student or educational system, set the students up for success. Teams' goals is to find ways to increase student success with assistive technology in all environments. Focus on all measures, including funding, peers, multiple environments, and activities. This includes physical education. Follow-up measures. Collaboration is key. All discipline areas should be involved and follow up with the student in their specific environment. Finally, look into research-based models. Include diverse learners, technical support, and how to follow up. Step outside the box of professional development and services and reach out to other communities and educational systems to see how they implement their trainings and services. See if you can attend Have them attend yours. The more people involved, the more professionals can learn, and the better success of the student to adopt the use of assistive technology. Professional ethics and regulatory policies. A combination of Learning Outcomes 7 and 8. Policies and procedures ensure that the student is getting the best education. Professional ethics set up personal or corporate rules for professional behaviors and have codes of ethics and standards among the different professions. Regulatory policies include laws, civil rights, and guidelines which protect the individual requiring services, including the use of assistive technology. Increasing professionals' knowledge and skills in these areas can significantly decrease abandonment rates. Professionals should be familiar with funding resources, training, types of AT, and professionalism. They must stay within their scope of practice, consult with experts in other service areas, and provide best practices. One size does not fit all. It is not how educational systems should implement the use of assistive technology. Because you have access to one device or program doesn't mean it fits the needs of all users. Educational systems should step outside the box and gain access to trainings and resources. This is their ethical duty. There's protection under many laws, IDEA, Section 504, and the ADA. Educational systems should increase parent knowledge and education surrounding these laws so they can best advocate for their child, so their child can make the best possible strides academically and socially. The takeaway: the use of assistive technology in education increases the individual's quality of life, academic success, and ability to participate in environments not naturally accessible. There's many barriers in education that affect the use of assistive technology, more specifically in the heart of the process: assessment, implementation, and training. These barriers should be looked at and modified to best meet the needs of the individual and school system. Be the change. Educational systems should focus on the assessment procedures to ensure the best possible match for the user. Increase training services for all individuals involved with the use of AT, including but not limited to parents, teachers, support staff, and the user. Increase the user's success with the device or tool, which would lead to adoption instead of abandonment. School teams should work together, not apart. Develop appropriate guidelines and use everyone's strengths. Finally, improve the process to improve the success for the individual. Thank you.